Hello everyone and welcome to Big Rock Moto. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today I want to talk about auxiliary lights for your motorcycle and in particular Denali lighting. Alright, always with the disclaimers up front, I believe in full transparency. I actually did not get sponsored by Denali for this video or for this bike. Denali does not send me products to test or free products, so I paid full price for the lights and the controller and everything I'm talking about in this video, and I've always had to pay full price for my Denali products, which is fine. I'm not complaining. And there's a reason that I'm still willing to pay for them, despite the fact that I get most things for free as a YouTuber because I'm kind of spoiled. So that's my disclaimer, but also I do have an affiliate program with them that I set up. So if you use my links to purchase Denali lights or controllers or brake lights or anything from their site, mounts, whatever, and you use my links, which please do use my links, I get a small commission which helps support the channel. And these affiliate commissions are part of the way that someone like me stays in business and keeps making these videos. I'm always very honest about that, but I would appreciate you doing that if you're willing to, so thank you. So why do I run auxiliary lights on my motorcycles? I put them on almost all my bikes. There's a few main reasons for it. They kind of seem obvious, but the first is actually probably the primary thing. It's just conspicuity or visibility in the daytime with traffic. So I don't ride at night a ton, although when I do, I like having the lights. But in the daytime, you're so much more visible with extra lights. Traffic can see you better. And then at nighttime, it's animals. So for me, I live in the mountains. I ride in the mountains all the time. So deer and coyotes and other animals, but mostly deer, are a real problem, are a real threat to my survival, quite honestly. So having lights like this helps me see animals and not hit them, hopefully. All right, so why am I doing a video on Denali lights? It seems kind of random. Well, because I chose to set them up on my 1300 GS, which is one of my personal bikes that I have. I only have three bikes right now that I own. Why did I choose Denali? Well, there are a few reasons. One, I think they have the best lighting solution, the most amount of light, the most configurable options, the best quality product, the easiest to install, plug and play. They have great controllers, and it's easy to go to their website to get everything you need right at once. That's going to plug right into your bike and work really, really well. And I've tested these Denali setups on multiple motorcycles over the years. So I knew with the 1300 I wanted to go with them. I'll put up a little chart here. It talks about, I'm a nerd, right? So I geek out on spreadsheets and stuff. If you look at the price per lumen, a lumen is a measurement of light output, right? And we can measure that for the lights. The manufacturers tell us how many lumens they are, which you can debate whether that's totally accurate, maybe not. But price per lumen is actually really good on the Denali products compared to other brands. Now, speaking of other brands, I have nothing against Ruby or Clearwater or Cyclops. In fact, I work with a lot of them and I love those other companies. I think they're all great products. But today we're just focusing on Denali. So let's talk about how this is going to work on your motorcycle. So when you get this set up, here's what now you're going to have to wire them into the bike, right, to activate the lights, right? And you have several options for that. If you have a bike that has a CAN bus wiring system and Denali offers a CAN bus or what do they call it, CAN Smart controller, get that option. And the reason for that is it makes life so much easier. You plug it into the bike, plug and play, no wire splicing, no permanent modifications. It connects into the bike's computer and you can control your lights through the factory controls on your motorcycle. So no extra switches, no janky wiring, none of that. So that works awesome. They also have the dial dim controller. They have other harnesses. If you want to use Denali lights and you don't have a modern CAN bus bike, like something like this, then you can still use any of the Denali lights you want. You just have to get the harness that works for you. So if you're lucky enough to get a CAN Smart controller, and by the way, the Denali CAN Smart is the same exact product as the Hex Easy CAN. It's just rebranded and they give you a few extra cables and stuff too, which is kind of a nice bonus. How that works is it plugs into the bike's OBD harness, it plugs into the battery, and then you connect lights and brake lights and horns, whatever you want to it, and you control everything. You set up the controls on your laptop, you plug it into the USB cable, you configure how you want things to work. How do you want the lights to activate with high beam, with low beam, nighttime settings, daytime settings. A bike like this has a nighttime sensor, so you're able to have separate settings at night than you would in the day, which is actually very handy. Turn signal functions, how you want your brake light to work. You control all that through the CAN Smart app or the Hex Easy CAN app, I forget, whatever, either way, on your laptop, and it's really, really easy. You plug it in, you configure how you want everything to work. It works fantastic. I've used it multiple times now and I really, really like it. All right, let's talk briefly about some of the different options you have from Denali. So they have a whole series of everything from like DOT approved like fog lights or EU approved fog lights to fog combo spot beams to long range driving lights, whatever. So I'll put up a little chart here on the screen with sort of the light output of all the different lights. So I've used a lot of them over the years. The ones I have that I chose for the 1300 GS are their newest and most advanced lights ever. And I think the most advanced lights pretty much you can get, period, from any company right now, the D7 Pros. These D7 Pros are pretty special, and here's why. Each light is like two lights in one. What do I mean? Well, there's two circuits on each light. There's two circuit outputs or inputs to each light. So the center row of 3 LEDs is separate from the outer ones. What that means is that you can have this fog light cover or an amber cover in the middle. You can have that on at night at a low intensity or in the day at low intensity. You can use that as an extra turn signal if you want. You can set that up. And then you can have everything on full beam or high beam, everything blasts on and you have, you know, all these crazy lumens. So it's, whoops, almost dropped my computer here. It's like having, it is two lights in one. That, if you start to think about what that means for your setup, it's, you don't have to have multiple sets of lights, right? Because you have the hybrid beam pattern with the spot and the flood and the long range all in one, you can configure separately. So the setup I like to use is these selective yellow covers, and I have these kind of in the day and at night as a running light, super bright, visible to traffic. And then at night, they're at a lower intensity so you don't blind people. They're almost so bright at night, I run them by like 10%, I think. And then on full beam, boom, everything lights up like crazy because you have everything on 100%. You can also run clear covers. You can run a clear cover in the middle on the D7 Pros to give you the hybrid pattern, but with a clear beam instead of the yellow. Or you can run no cover at all and just have a long range light. These work awesome. I'm just telling you, like, it's worth the extra money to get the D7 Pros. The D7s I think are being phased out. The D7 Pro is much better. It's almost 25,000 lumens for a set of D7 Pros, which is the most you can put on your motorcycle as far as I know, even compared to like Clearwater and some of the really powerful ones. These are phenomenal amount of light. This is what, if you want the best, just right now in 2024, just get this setup. I'm telling you, I research these things for a living. This is the best you can get right now. Okay, so we'll start with just the factory low beam headlight. I have the Denali's completely turned off. Now let me show you, I'll do this in levels. Let me turn on, I can hold the turn signal button down. I'll turn on the X beams in the middle for the floodlights. Okay, that's the floodlights, I think at about 20%. And that's what I have for oncoming traffic at night with my low beam. You can see how much fill lighting there is on the sides here, which is really, really nice. Now, for the big show, let me turn on everything full blast. Okay, that's everything full blast. It's going all the way to the mountain in the distance, that telephone pole way up there. So you can see I have a lot of light here on the sides. I have light going way, way down the road. So let me ride a little bit and kind of show you how this is. So let me dip down to my low beam with the X beams on 20% and then back to the full high beam. So I'm actually going to turn around and go the other way so I don't blind these houses up here. These lights are so bright that I honestly worry about disturbing people. I mean, they're that bright. So let me go back again. Let me turn these off. Okay, there's my low beam, factory only. Now this is the outer lights without the middle lights on. So if you wanted to run without those side flood beams, this is how you would look at 100%. And now let me turn the X beams on in the middle. Now you can see, because I have the yellow covers on, my floodlight is kind of this yellow amber cover, which are light or temperature, which I find really helps. It doesn't, the light kind of doesn't reflect as much, like if it's foggy or dusty. So I kind of like the yellow covers. I think that's really, really nice. So the difference between riding, you know, with the Denali's on or off, I mean, It's night or day difference. I mean, it literally is, no, all jokes aside. Like there's the factory low beam, which is pretty good for a motorcycle. But then once I start turning on the Denalis, everything just starts to come to life. And then if I really want to have confidence, so that's how I run on a country road at night with these lights all the way on, and I can pretty much go as fast as I would during the day. That's how good these lights are. I can see obstacles in the road, I could see animals, I literally, earlier I saw like an owl flying way up above. Like it's pretty insane, the level of confidence and safety that this adds to night riding. So really, really, really enjoy riding at night now that I have these D7 Pros. So on my bike, I also have the B6 brake light. I like this light, and I've run it on multiple bikes over the years because, especially on the new bikes where they've taken away that middle brake light, like this one, I don't know why they're doing that. Now you can add that back in and you get flashing when you step on the brake. You can set different flashing levels depending on where you live for legal reasons. It's very bright. It's a running light and also a brake light. It plugs right into the Denali controller. And if you have, so by the way, if you get the Hex EasyCan controller, you will just need, and you want to use a Denali light like I did, because I actually have the Hex EasyCan, not the Denali controller, even though it's the same thing. Just the Denali CanSmart has an input for the B6 brake light, whereas the Hex Can has a universal input, which you need a little adapter plug thingy, which I have, or I think you just wire it in, I forget. But anyway, minor difference you should know. I recommend getting a Denali controller if you're going to use Denali lights. It's just going to make life a little bit easier, but you can still do everything if you have the Hex EasyCan brand, which is also great. Fully recommend that. That's actually what I have because it was out before the Denali version, and I had this bike very, very early. Long story short, it's fine, but now if you're getting it, I would just get the Denali version if you're going to use the Denali lights. So anyway, the B6 brake light, I like that. You can also get the Sound Bomb horn, which I've had. I don't have on this bike. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I had it on my last GS Adventure. Love that horn. It plugs in. The thing is, everything is just plug and play. So you want to add something, change something, it's plug and play. There's no splicing. Everything's controlled through computer, through the software. So you can tell that I really like this. For me, as a kind of a tech geek or nerd or whatever, which I'm proud to be called that, I love this setup because I don't like doing wiring. I hate wiring, hate it. I just feel like I don't know, I just cannot stand wiring. So the ability to just plug everything in with a connector and for it to work properly, it to me is worth every penny. The cost of the stuff, again, I think, like I said, the little chart, I think the cost is reasonable for what Denali lights are compared to other brands, and I just like how they make everything easy to use. So if you have, please, again, use my links if you're going to buy this stuff. It's a great way. It really is important to me and helps with my business if you buy stuff through my links, so I would appreciate that. Whether you're watching this in 2024 or years later, please use that link. It'll help support this channel and the work I do here. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please put that down below. Other than that, ride safe, and I'll see you out there.